Here we go. You know, every episode we see the king, he looks a little worse. In fact, let's just call it what it is. He looks like shit. What's going on with him and why is it happening? Is it a disease that's killing him, the Iron Throne, or the Maesters themselves? We'll talk about that in this video. What up to my thugs, nerds, freaks, and geeks? You're now rocking with the Don Tony Teflon. Let's jump right into this. In order to truly understand what's going on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play every clip that we have seen dealing with him being sick. And as we analyze these clips, maybe we can come to a point where we can say this is what's happening exactly, and this is why it's happening exactly. Now, it has been reported that the king is suffering from leprosy. What is leprosy? Hansen's disease, also known as leprosy, is an infection caused by slow-growing bacteria called Mycobacterium leprae. It can affect the nerves, skin, eyes, and the lining of the nose. This is a devastating disease. If left untreated, the signs of advanced leprosy can include paralysis and crippling of the hands and feet, shortening of toes and fingers due to reabsorption, chronic non-healing ulcers on the bottom of the feet, blindness, loss of eyebrows, and nose disfigurement. With that being said, let's get to the first time we hear something about the king being sick.
Is it healing?
It has grown slightly, Your Grace. Can you say yet what it is?
We've sent inquiries to the Citadel. They are searching the text for similar cases.
It's a small cut from sitting the throne. It's nothing.
So the first thing we see is that they find a wound on the king's back that does not appear to be healing. So this is not the first time that they've looked at this wound. He says it's just from the Iron Throne and it's nothing to worry about. But for some reason, Otto Hightower thinks it is something to worry about.
The king has been under heavy stresses preparing for the birth. Bad humors of the mind can adversely affect the body. Whatever it is, it needs to be kept quiet.
Maybe Otto is a doctor, or maybe he has seen this before, but it's clear that he is concerned about this wound right off the bat, and he doesn't want any information about this getting out. Let's look at the second clip.
This is our best chance to save the digit, Your Grace. The maggots will remove the dead flesh and hopefully stop the advance of the rot.
So some time has passed, and now we see that not only did the king have a wound on his back, now it has spread to his fingers, which they must put maggots on. That's the technique they're trying to use, thinking that that is what's going to cure him and get rid of the infection and the dead skin. But what I want you to focus on is the Maester's face when the king starts talking about a marriage that he is about to have, or that Corlys has suggested that he takes.
He proposed a marriage.
To whom? Your Grace?
The Lady Lena. To combine the strength of our houses and demonstrate my reign's strongest days are ahead.
Now to me, when I look at this dude's face, it makes me think he's saying, uh-oh, what's going on here? Like, they're talking about combining their houses and making them the strongest that they've been, and that the Targaryens will live and prosper for the next 100 years. Now it doesn't seem that he's exactly happy about that situation, if you ask me. Let's go to the next clip. Now, they don't really say anything of importance in this clip dealing with his illness, but we can see that he has lost 2 fingers. So that technique that they said they were using, the maggots, did not work. He had to chop off 2 of his fingers in order for this thing not to spread throughout his body, so they told him. Next time they show him, he's getting his sponge bath like all kings do, but the sponges hurt his body, and that's when the queen comes and throws everybody else out and says, let me do it, and she sponges him down. That's all that we see, is that now all of a sudden it has been from his back to his 2 fingers, and now if anything touches his arm, he is in pain. After that, we see him having sex with the queen, and he has lesions all over his back. So it has spread from one little cut to his back to losing 2 fingers, and now he has lesions all across his back. So whatever techniques these maesters have been doing do not seem to be effective.
Leeches.
If I may, Grand Maester, I took the liberty of preparing a fresh set of herbal poultices that might be more effective.
That will not be necessary, or while. The leechings have always brought His Grace relief.
So what we hear right now is that the maester in training, we shall call him because that's just the easy way to say it, is suggesting a different medicine, a different technique that he believes would be more effective. And he is immediately shut down by the head maester, who tells him, no, that will not be necessary because the Grace, your Grace, loves getting leeched. He brings him peace to be leeched, right? So that right there is a 100% huge red flag. Now, from the opening scene, when we see his back, it starts off small, and they cannot treat that all the way to his finger, where they can't treat that all the way to his back again when they show his disgusting back when he's having sex with his wife, to this, now his arm looks like it's completely about to fall off. He started off saying that it was from the Iron Throne, and that's what he thought it was. It seems to me that these maesters are not treating him effectively. Now, does he have leprosy? The thing that makes me think that it may not be leprosy is that it is said that leprosy is spread by water droplets, by talking to somebody, right? Kind of like COVID-19 is spread. How come nobody else has this? He's been laying on top of Alicent. There ain't no damn 9 feet rule in this motherfucker, right? Everyone's right on top of each other all the time. He's touching stuff, wiping his nose with his hand, and other people are touching it, and nobody else has contracted this disease, which seems highly suspect to me if this really is leprosy. But let's just say that it is leprosy. That the show is right and they're telling you that it's leprosy. If it is leprosy, then the maesters are not treating it effectively. Maybe they don't know how to treat it. We could use that argument. Or maybe they are doing stuff to affect this leprosy so it does spread, or just treating it bad so he does die, because they want him to die, because they're afraid of this union between him and the Valyrians that's going to lead to over 100 more years rules of dragon riders. And if you've read the books, and I know a lot of people haven't who watch the show, the maesters do not like the dragons at all. In fact, they don't like dragons, and they do not like magic. They don't want any part of that. They're very science-based organization. So in order to kill House Targaryen, how can you defeat them? Can't beat them head up, so you have to outsmart them. And you get them to fight each other by having a civil war. It would be an easy way for them to destroy themselves from within and destroy all the dragons. Also, when dealing with the maesters, they claim to not like magic. They claim to be 100% against it. But if you read the books, they do try to practice in it and understand it. They have a Valyrian still link that you can learn if you get good enough in this practice. And they have a whole lot of king's blood from all these leeches. And it seems that a lot of blood magic in this series has to do with king's blood. So they have taken all the king's blood from this guy that they would need. I'm telling you, you've seen him say we're going to have to leech him when the other maester tried to do a more effective technique. Why wouldn't you say, all right, go for it? Everything else we have been doing has not been working. That's what I think, but you tell me in the comment sections what you think. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.